Hey, welcome to another one of our episodes. I'm down at the butcher the other day. I'm picking up some bison steaks and venison roast, and they've got oxtails there. I've always been curious about them. Tammy said she likes oxtails. So we bought some oxtails, and we're going to cook them up today. Now, the way this will work is we'll put some smoke on them for a bit, and then after that, we're going to make up a braise and braise them until they're just fork tender. Now we've got our pit barrel loaded today. Got this basket about half full with charcoal, as you can see. We're just going to light one of these wax cubes, give it about 10 or 15 minutes, and start this cook. We got our oxtails here. What I'm going to do is just, as a binder, little vegetable spray. You can use some oil, cooking oil, whatever you got. This is handy and, quite easy. Now, to season this, I'm going to use this Runnin Wild Brisket rub. If you want to know more about this, I'll put a link in the video so you can read about it. You could use salt and pepper, use your favorite beef rub. Now, you can see it's been quite humid here in Florida, and it's a little bit chunky. That's just from the humidity in the rub. Some of the rubs have anti-caking agents in them, and some of them don't. Okay, so we're just going to season both sides up, and then we're just going to let them sit here while this pit barrel gets lit, and then we'll move on over to this pit barrel cooker. I've been getting a lot of questions on the pit barrel videos lately about how I'm lighting the coals. Today, I would like to keep this temperature a little cooler. So you can see I use that wax cube. It's been about 10-12 minutes. You can see we've got a real slow burn starting. So I'm going to get this down in the pit barrel, okay? And we're going to move those oxtails on here. My pit barrel usually runs 280, 300, somewhere in that range. Okay. And I've got this basket. You can see the side lifts up. So I can put some wood down in there. And I just have a couple of pieces of cherry and a couple of pieces of oak. I mean, I use the word couple loosely. Just going to scatter them around here. Okay. Going to get the lid back on this. Then we're going to take our oxtails and I'm going to put them on the side where I didn't have any charcoals. Like I say, I want to try to keep this temp as low as possible. So, I'm going to got my oxtails in, right? Going to get these rods in. Then we're going to get the lid back on this pit barrel. Really looking forward to this cook today. I've never made oxtails. I've been researching it for about a month. Let's get this braising liquid going, all right? Now, my braise is going to be a little bit different than what you'll find on the web in a lot of, if you do a search for it. I watched Malcolm Reed's video, right? He did oxtails and made a liquid for braising also. And his uses a lot of vegetables. This would be a little bit different. Anyway, I just put in 3 cups of beef broth. I got a 14-ounce can of tomatoes chopped up. And then we're going to put in 3 cups. This is a Cabernet. I would recommend you go with the Cab. You want a bold, rich flavor here, right? So, boy, it's taking me longer to pour this out than I imagined. Okay, so I got 3 cups of red wine. What I've got here is a tablespoon, just a little bit more, of horseradish. That's going to splash up if I'm not careful. If you're worried about it being a little too spicy for you, then cut that back to a teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half. We got a teaspoon of minced garlic. I got fresh thyme. We're growing our own thyme. We got one of those arrow gardens, so we grow it inside year round. I don't know, it looks like it's 5 or 6 sprigs. Then I've got there's another sprig, and I've got about a tablespoon of fresh parsley. We grew that as well. Okay, let me get the rest of this garlic in there. All right, and then here we have 1 shallot, all diced up. And then the final thing is I'm going to put a little salt and pepper. I'm using this Fiori salt. My son got it for me as part of a Christmas present. I mean, you can just use kosher salt. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but you can see it's got pieces of the flour and the salt. It smells incredible. I'm probably putting in half a teaspoon for now. All right, I got some cracked pepper. Had to go in and get it. Again, I don't know exactly how much. Maybe a half a teaspoon. You can always add a little bit later. All right. Now what we're going to do is just bring this up to a boil, and I'm going to let it, boil, strong simmer. I don't know how long it'll take, maybe 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, I don't know for sure, but I do want it to thicken up and reduce it down by probably at least a third. It's been about 5 minutes. You can see we got a nice boil there. And what I've got here, I think it's called a slurry, right? It's got a teaspoon of flour with about a third of a cup of tepid water. Just going to stir this in so it doesn't get clumpy, and it'll help us thicken things up here. Perfect. We're going to let this keep going another 10 minutes easily. It smells great. Absolutely smells great. It's been 3 hours. These guys, you can see they've darkened up for us, but they're still not very soft at all. That's what this braise is going to do for us. I'm just going to get them off of here. They got a nice, they almost look like they've had, I don't know if you can see that. They almost look like they've got barbecue sauce on them, but I have not done that, I promise you. So let me just get them off of here, and then we're going to work them over in that braise, liquid braise that we're making. Not quite as thick as I'd like it. I got my oxtails here, okay. Now that's going to be perfect, okay. We're going to go ahead and get them in here. And I hope you can see that. This is going to be great. But, these are supposed to fall apart, right? I don't know if you've ever made oxtails or eaten them, but you can see we're nowhere near the falling apart. So let me get these guys in here. And then I'll run in and get the lid for this pot. And we're going to get it back on the pit barrel cooker. Perfect. All right, so what I'm going to do now is get the lid off this guy, get one of these rods out. We got our oxtails here, and I'm going to put this right over the side. Now, right over the side. Right over the same side where the charcoals are. Plenty of charcoals remaining, all right? Ooh, this might be a challenge. I didn't think through this. Well, let's see. Let me see what the options are here. Okay, so I guess because I'm using this lid, it's not going to be immediately on the side. It's going to be right here in the center. I think it'll work out just fine. And we're going to continue letting these guys go, oh gosh, 2 hours. We'll check on them in 2 hours and see how they're doing, but I suspect it could take even longer. It's been another 2.5 hours. I just took the lid off this pit barrel, checked our oxtails, and they're ready to come off. I got to tell you, they're just falling apart. I'm going to show you how we're going to plate these guys up and give them a try. Okay. Let me see, just give you a little look there. Look at all that deliciousness. Just look at that. You see how the meat is just falling off the. I don't know if you can see it. We'll get one out here in a minute, so you can see it. But they're just starting to fall apart. Look at that. Okay, let me just let this rest here for about 10 minutes. We're going to go in and get some mashed potatoes, plate this up and try it. Our oxtails have been resting here 10 minutes. I got a taste test helper. She made for the good part. She made the mashed potatoes, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to lay down some mashed taters. I hear the puppy again. Is that enough? Uh-huh. Boy, they're creamy. They look good. Let me get these out of the way. All right. And then let me make sure this isn't going to burn anyone. Okay, we're good there. All right.
Wow, that smells yummy.
Look at that.
Yum.
Okay. Let's get it. Woohoo! Oxtail there. Boy, they are burning hot. Let me see if I got a smaller one. Yep, perfect.
Yummy.
Okay. Whew. There's another one. What do you think about that, huh? Looking good. Now what we got here. Tammy cut up a little onion to garnish it. And Sadie, if you jump up here, you're going to be in big trouble. Okay.
Yum.
All right. Okay, we're going to give these oxtails a try. Okay. I don't know how much you can see in the video. It is starting to get dark, but you can see they're starting to just fall apart like that, right?
They look yummy.
This is just a butter knife, not sharp at all. Okay.
I've waited all day for these.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the first bite. Is that okay, just like that?
Yeah.
Mashed potato and oxtail. Mashed potato and oxtail for me. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Get back. That's the dog. I'm sorry. Stop. Okay. You ready?
Yeah. Yum. Yum, yum, yum.
There's restaurant richness to that right there, don't you think?
Yum.
The wine sauce on these gives them such a rich, rich flavor. It's this beefiness. Here, I got you a piece. You get the one with your fork, whichever one you want.
Yummy. Those are restaurant quality. Those are awesome.
It's like I mean, I don't know if you cook with wine sauce much, but it always gives things this really rich, deep flavor. The beef, the oxtail, it just kind of melts in your mouth. Way better than pot roast, isn't it?
Yeah, those are delicious.
With those potatoes, that's a perfect way to serve them up.
That's great.
You know, it's like ribs. You know, you got to be patient. I think it took, I'll count the time up when I edit the video, but I think it was 5 or 6 hours. I don't remember for sure, but I kept writing it down.
Yum.
But it wasn't hard, right? It's something you can do if you're just hanging around the house, you know, mowing the grass on Saturday or got some buddies over or friends over. You just let them smoke and then braise.
They're
If you're-
super rich.
Super rich?
Yeah, they're delicious.
We would make them again?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yum.
Hey, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you're not a subscriber already, hope you hit the subscribe button. Wherever it's going to be, I never know. And hit the little bell. You hit the bell, you'll be notified each time we do a new video.